Hello YouTube, this is Undeads93 back with my final video for my key animated anime month. So, now we're tackling my favorite out of the four that I've focused on, and that is Clannad. Pretty much this anime focuses on pretty much the relationship between Nagisa and Tomoya, as they pretty much follows their life as conflict comes with life, which it does quite well. It makes you pretty much care for the characters. There's also a lot of drama in this anime, mostly just more emotional drama, which I feel that it builds up quite well. First I'm going to explain Clannad, and then Clannad After Story, since this has two animes to it, in a sense, but it's mostly like Season 1 and Season 2. Clannad is pretty much essentially groundwork for After Story. It pretty much builds up all the characters that are in Clannad After Story, and that you'll care for, so you'll get to know them better and know what they're going through. They also still do that in After Story, but it's mainly in Clannad that they build up all these characters. So pretty much you go through these characters in Clannad, get to know these characters, and you follow the kind of budding relationship between Nagisa and Tomoya. Also, you have a bunch of other side characters who are pretty much also helping Nagisa with Nagisa's plot of trying to get the drama club together and put on a sort of show, which is an interesting plot point that goes on, as pretty much that's what pretty much Clannad focuses on, pretty much building up Nagisa and Tomoya's relationship. So it does really well in that part. With Clannad After Story, it's pretty much after as Tomoya and Nagisa are pretty much in a relationship, and it pretty much takes what Clannad takes, and it pretty much puts it on a higher scale of what I kind of would hope that the Canon and Air would have done, and it pretty much takes more risks as you're following pretty much normal life for these characters in the real world. Pretty much getting jobs, graduating, and other things in that sense. So pretty much yeah, I'm not really good at these, so I'm trying my best. And then you'll have all the other internal conflicts that come with also life that become giant roadblocks for Tomoya, as it pretty much essentially starts stabbing away at your heart as it does the same at Tomoya. So you're kind of feeling the same for Tomoya as you are feeling for all the characters or such events that are happening in this anime. Which I do think it does quite well. On an emotional level, this anime is pretty much extends past the other three, in my opinion, since it pretty much keeps you emotionally invested from the ending of Clannad to continuing through Clannad After Story, and then at the end of Clannad, where it also hits its climax, and then pretty much has go off from there. Sorry about this. I quite recommend watching this anime, especially watching Clannad first, because it kind of sets the groundwork for everything. So you know these characters more, know their little quirks and such. So you'll be more introduced to them. Because if you only watch After Story first, you won't know these characters as how as its first series builds them up for this series. So I suggest watching both. Now I'm going to go into the characters, which are probably the best part in this anime, since this is pretty much a very character-driven and emotional-driven anime. You have your main character, Tomoya, who is pretty much your regular delinquent in high school, in a sense. Pretty much, he has the main conflicts, with mainly life kind of giving him the giant screwball in life, and he's kind of having to adapt to this and such. You have the other main character, which is Nagisa. She is pretty much, if you put Moe incarnate, yeah, she's like very sickly. That's why with her backstory, she had to repeat a grade because she got sick and had to repeat, and this kind of plays into the rest of the stuff, which I won't spoil because I want you guys to watch this. Other characters include Kyo and Ro, which are twins. One with short hair, which is very quiet and very to herself, and then you have Kyo, who is pretty much the tsundere type, and pretty much they both also like Tomoya. Yeah. Then you have Katomi, who is pretty much a bookworm in a sense. Well, yeah, she is pretty much a bookworm. She doesn't get much screen time. She mainly just gets screen time in Clannad, and you learn about her backstory. She kind of has a fucked up backstory. Yeah. Then you have Tomoyo, which she barely gets any screen time either. She has a really good OVA episode, which I suggest watching as well, which pretty much, it kind of disregards Clannad and Clannad after... Well, it disregards Clannad and makes her the main love interest, and you follow that, which it does quite well. Another character, which she only shows up in Clannad, and I think like once or twice in After Story, is Fuko, who is pretty much like a little, I'd say 10, 12-ish year old. I'm kind of throwing numbers around. She's obsessed with starfish, and you'll find that out as soon as when she's introduced in the anime. And she's quite an enjoyable character, which I quite liked her gimmick, and you'll learn about her backstory, which is kind of really fucked up too. Then you have Yushio, who also comes in After Story. I'm not going to explain who she is, because I want you guys to know who Yushio is watching this. She kind of grows as a character. She's mainly there to kind of help with Tomoya, kind of more stabbing at your heartstrings with Tomoya's story. Then you have Akio and Sanai, who are one of my probably favorite comic relief duos in this. You have Akio, who's pretty much like comic relief incarnate for like anything. Yeah, pretty much everything the guy says is awesome in my opinion. So, and then you have his wife, who, Shakva, she can't make, like, they own a bakery, and she can't like make bread for anything, and it's like hilarious. Even though most of the bread she makes looks really awesome, but it kind of like tastes horrible. Then the last character I'll get on is Yue Sunahara. I mostly just call him Sunohara, which everybody else does, who's pretty much Tomoya's friend, and also another comic relief character who gets a really good backstory of why he kind of is the way he is and such. So yeah, the characters are very good in this show, because when I reviewed like Air and everything else, there are characters that kind of dribble off and kind of don't exist for like most of the series. But in here, there are characters who are all around, and most of them don't dribble off, and they also, all the characters have some form of character development to make them needed within the story to help progress Tomoya and Nagisa's story. It's mainly just Nagisa and Tomoya's story. Also, Kyo has her own OVA episode, which is probably my favorite episode in the whole series, because Kyo is my favorite character. Now you're like, hey, why isn't Nagisa your favorite character? Well, first she was my favorite character, then I looked at Kyo, and she kind of had this conflict with her episode, which gets into that, which I quite like that. So, don't be hating, because I like Kyo better. And, yeah. But Nagisa's probably my second favorite. Like, they're like on parallel levels, pretty much. But Kyo is like a tiny bit higher, like a pixel higher. So, yeah. The only flaws I have with this anime, and you guys are going to be all crazy, like, hey, he has flaws with the anime, it's perfect. Psh, there's flaws with everything. Some of the character, well, mainly, the only flaws I had was mainly with Nagisa and her stuff, but it's mainly just plot points. So, I kind of can look over that. But other than that, the animation in the show is done quite well. Everything looks vibrant and very anime-like / visual novel-like. Everything has its purpose within this anime, and it pretty much tries to it all congregates in this story, so you feel the emotional attachment that you have with these characters, while also all of these characters have with each other, mainly with Tomoya and Nagisa, and whatever else comes in their life, with real life rearing its head at them. So, that is mainly my review of Clannad. I will be reviewing, let's see. I don't know what I'll be reviewing for next week. I will come up with an idea. Yeah. I kind of just, let's see. But I did quite like how well this month went for this anime review month. So I do have planned for another one, which is I planned in December, which would be my favorite animes month, which I'll be focusing on animes that I own, that I quite enjoy, / they're also their manga, which will include My Goddess, Rosario Vampire, Ayuri Yoshi, and Girls Bravo. You can be like, hey, he likes Girls Bravo, it's all about fan service. I'm mainly focusing on its manga counterpart, because there's little to no fan service in that. And also, Ayuri Yoshi has a crap ton of fan service in both its anime and its manga, so give Girls Bravo some slack, even though it has a crap ton of fan service. Like, if you watch it, there's fan service in every fucking episode. But, scratch that point. Also, sorry for my language. So in December, wait for that. Also in October, I'll be doing my Elephant Lead review, and I'm going to be glad to rip into that damn anime. I hate that thing. Also, we'll be watching more anime. Also, if you have any recommendations, put them in the comments below. because I'm always glad to see new anime, and also I'll be giving my thoughts on them as I be doing these reviews. And I hope you all enjoyed this episode. And thank you, and goodbye.